everybody, and here we are back with another Sims 4 speed build. I know it's been a while. I've been a little bit busy RL. No excuses, of course, because this is what's important. But this is a Halloween inspired house that we have titled The Crypt. So here we are building the crypt itself, and I've tried to go for one of those great big grotesque crypts that you would see in, you know, something like a show like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something like that, where it's built out of marble and it's got gargoyles and things like that. So this is, as you can see, putting the actual building together. We're putting some gargoyles in, and we've given a little bit of a roof feature. See, even the roof is marble. So we've gone for a real sort of rich over-the-top look here. And I had a little bit of fun with this one because I kind of figured, what would you expect that a house that was in a crypt would be like? And there's only one person that I can think of, or one type of creature that I can think of that would live in a crypt. And I can hear you all saying it now. Of course, it's a vampire. So I had a bit of fun with it. I did and are a little bit about the foundations because I wanted those stairs up into the crypt itself. I didn't want it to be on the ground, but in the end we just went for plain foundations to try and match the walls. And you'll see at the end when you see the exterior shots that it's overgrown and it's got lots of ivy and stuff like that, but we'll see that a bit later. But where would a vampire live? They wouldn't live upstairs in the crypt itself. They would live downstairs, underneath, in some sort of catacombs. So here we are going downstairs, building a crypt for our potential vampire. And I changed camera orientations or setup, if you like, several times because sometimes I like the way the Sims 4 camera works, sometimes I like the way the Sims 3 camera works. And I use the Sims 3 camera setup for when I am doing screenshots or photos, because it just seems to work a bit better, give you better angles. So here we are down where we're putting the staircases down, and I forgot that that it doesn't like to intersect because of the foundations, so you have to take it back and then you put it back. So you'll see that in a little minute. We take it out of the way, we move them to the spot they're supposed to be, and then we put it all back, so that sometimes you can't just use it as it is. You sometimes have to trick it a little bit. So even though it says the stairs can't intersect the foundations, they are intersecting what they wouldn't allow you to do before. So sometimes you have to argue a bit with it. So we're getting the pillars and things right here, and I couldn't quite decide on how I wanted the final whatever it was there, but we did end up going with another one of those sort of hanging, I think they're werewolves, and we put these gorgeous roof details on, which really finished the roof off. I think it made it it gave it that quality of, you know, that gothic quality, that graveyard quality. Even though it's white, it still came across, I think, in the end as a crypt and not just as a simple white marble building. And this is the layout. Very simple downstairs because you know, vampires aren't complex creatures, despite them being, you know, blood-sucking and evil and all that sort of stuff. What I wanted was to have, for it to be a potential you know, residence for Vlad or somebody like that. I didn't necessarily want it to be a rich and cluttered kind of thing. I wanted it to be fairly simple. A vampire that lived in a graveyard, you know, would only have as much space underground as what there was, so they wouldn't necessarily have be able to spread out and you know, have a huge home. So I've gone for Victorian wallpaper here throughout, except for the bathrooms, and I think here I'm doing the bathroom, and I've created like a little dressing room for Vlad. You'll see it a bit later as we develop, and off the back here I've given our hypothetical Vlad his very own prison, if you like, to keep somebody captive in. So and you'll see a little bit later when I go into developing that the idea is that he would keep a victim down there so that he would have a permanent blood doll, and they've got their own little apartment. So we're finishing. We were doing, sorry about the phone, we were doing Vlad's bathroom here. Now we've gone back into the little, the blood doll's apartment, little tiny basic bathroom, just giving them all of the essentials, but not really giving them much comfort. This is back out in the main area. We've got a little guest bathroom or powder room, and that archway will go from the dining area through into what will be the an office slash lounging room. And so here we are putting some essentials in for our blood doll. I wanted their little apartment to be as complete as possible so that they could cook and feed themselves, but couldn't do anything else. So we're giving them a fridge and a microwave and, you know, a bin, whatever, but not much else. And you can see Vlad's coffin is already in place. He's got the fancy one with all the gold trimming. And we're starting to furnish Vlad's bedroom here. And again, oh, I probably could have taken this long gap out, but the Vlad's bedroom is, or Vlad's whole house is not going to be, normally, I apologise, normally I like to, you know, fill all the corners with really nice stuff, and but in a vampire's lair, I thought they would excuse me, sorry, they wouldn't have a whole lot of really nice stuff, that it would be a lot of just bits and pieces that they'd collected, things that were perhaps I guess mementos of their victims, or sort of creepy little bits and pieces that that people might not expect. And you get a quick flash of it, but I'm not sure if you've actually seen, but the door into Vlad's bedroom, the place where he has his coffin, is one of the hidden bookcase doors. So so that any casual person, casual wanderer, casual passerby that did manage to get into this underground area, and without fail that clock goes, wouldn't be able to actually find his bedroom. So the idea is that his bedroom's hidden. We're working on the kitchen area, so even though a vampire might not cook, he still might want to have guests, you know, people that he's going to lure into being his blood doll, perhaps, you know, kill for dessert, whatever. So we did go ahead and give him a kitchen area, and make it, you know, fully fully self-contained and fully able to cook complete meals in there if he wanted to. And of course we've, you know, gone a bit cliche here and put the Gothic sort of style dining table in. and gone for a few of the ye olde type paintings as wall decor. And this is now we're up to the bit where I'm just looking for decor that sort of fits that gothic kind of that theme that he would that possibly have. Now the floors throughout are like a slate tile, so the rugs, it would be appropriate for him to have a few rugs around. I'm sure vampires like their comfort, but I'm sure they don't exactly care about the niceties and having, you know, carpet and stuff all the way through. And you can see here that the doorway through to his blood doll's apartment is also a secret bookcase doorway, so that people, should they find their way through into that area, they've still got to find the blood doll's apartment through or behind that bookcase. So all the lighting, or most of the lighting throughout, is the candles on the walls to go with, again, that gothic theme. And I was just investigating. I had just downloaded a couple of new packs, so I was investigating, you know, new statues and things that I hadn't seen. So, and again, we're trying to make this look like it was being used by an active and you know, working vampire, I guess. I'm damned if I could get those books to come out of the wall though, but in the end they look alright. But that it wasn't too plush or too cluttered, even though if in some sort of in a theoretical vampire universe, no doubt they it would be cluttered, it would be full of mementos and things like that. But this hypothetical vampire doesn't really care. So here we are now adding some of the stuff from the vampires pack, the cobwebs and, you know, holes in the wallpaper and cracks in the walls, and that's from the spooky stuff pack. It's a mechanical spider apparently, and I can't wait to go into live mode and just check out if they actually do their eyes flash, or if they move or make any noises or anything like that, because I think that would be a really fascinating and funny addition. So we're just you know, decorating his, you know, there's a skull in the corner under glass, of course, and some large urns, and again a few potted plants, but we've gone for mostly dark coloured urns, things that might be appropriate in a vampire's lair. But it's basically, it's very bare and very minimal. He hasn't really furnished his place. He's tried to make it inviting for his potential victims, but I don't think he's really succeeded in making it feel warm and inviting. It's quite cold. It feels quite unloved, and perhaps a bit dirty and a bit grotty and a bit scungy. And so you'll see here I think we go on a bit of a rampage with making tearing wallpapers and putting in stains and cracks and things. But no, we're just finishing off decor items in the bathroom there. So here we go, cobwebs, and we're tearing bits of that wallpaper down because it wouldn't be pristine. We're talking underground, so we're talking damp, we're talking moist and rotting, we're talking you know, dead things or creepy crawlies having a chew on things. So now we're kind of decorating the crypt upstairs, and I've put an actual coffin there, so it looks like there is a resident there. It could be the vampire, it could be one of his victims. You know, and I put a bunch of flowers and stuff in front of here, so it makes it look like it was a fairly recent death. It was somebody who passed away quite recently, and all of the flowers from their funeral are still there. So a couple of gargoyles in the corner, because what else? And we nip back downstairs, of course, to furnish Vlad's dressing room. And I jump around a bit here because I keep going, oh, this, oh, I forgot to do this. So it has been a little bit of a while since I have done a Sims 4 build, and there isn't, like, it wasn't as flowing as what I could have hoped. So now we're working on the exterior, and we get a couple of you know, dead trees in, and some almost dead rose bushes, and of course crypts are in graveyards, so we put some gravestones in, and one of the most important things I say at every build is don't forget to do your terrain painting. Make sure that it looks like these things are actually part of the ground and not just plonked on top of them. So here you can see we're putting some ivy. For the most part it's dying or dead around the edges, and getting it to look like, you know, this building has been here for a little while. So perhaps the crypt belongs to other people, and there is a couple of urns there on shelves, so perhaps there have been other relatives that have been buried or interred there as well. So this is just finishing off the exterior. We've put a few wildflowers in just to give it a bit of colour, and it's expected that there would be flowers and things in a graveyard in any case, and to put some of the walking paths in where people might be expected to walk. And some gargoyles, of course, at the front. And this is me changing the camera from whichever Sims 4 to Sims 3 or back again. And everything's tested with poor little Ilara, who's there in her pink dress, who looks so un-vampirish. Here we are to the screenshots. This is the front of the crypt, and from one side, and a quick look at the graveyard itself as well, with its statues and its dead or dying rose bushes. And this is the inside, where we've got our coffin with our flowers, and down those double stairs, this is going into the main area where we've got our dining room, where Vlad's going to butter up his guests with the beautiful food that he's cooked or had somebody cook in the kitchen. And this is into the sitting area. There is no television here, so but there is a little computer tablet on the desk there. So there is, for your sim or sims, your vampire sim, there is a place for them to get entertainment. But we've only put a television through into the blood dolls area. So, and here we are in the dressing room, the bathroom, and this is the blood dolls apartment. You can see a little IV set up there, and a very, very basic bathroom with no decoration. This is the floor plan of the underneath in the catacombs, and this is the crypt upstairs. I hope you enjoyed the build. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing today, have a good one.